Today, we're going to expose the myths versus the truth. I've, throughout my last 10 years of coaching, have seen too many of us believe lies. These lies is what's been holding us back from taking the action that we need to take in order to generate the revenue, get the clients, be able to make our mark in the world, and that prevents more of us from living this business that we know that we could be successful in. And I know this because I've personally have spoken to thousands of coaches throughout the years, and then I have uh uh myself been in these some of these rooms. I've been in these seminars. I've been in some of these masterminds where these coaches are giving terrible advice to their clients. So I want to go through. So today I'm gonna walk through some of the biggest myths that I've heard, and I'm gonna tell you what the actual truth is to help you be successful as a coach. So hopefully this will get you going. And but I some of these things I'm hearing, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. So yeah, I'm gonna give you all of the bad advice, the myths. All right. So let's start with the myth number one slash bad advice. First one is your offer is probably the reason that things feel slow. And so keep changing it until you get until people start buying. So here's the thing. Your offer, you do need to look at your offer initially, but just because people aren't buying your offer doesn't mean that you have to change the offer. And let me get what I'm meaning by this. When you are want to help people, right? Your offer is what people are buying from you, right? So you might say, okay, well, one-on-one, they're not buying my one-on-one, so let me try a group. Oh, they're not buying that, so let me give them a digital course. Let me give them an event. You know what? Let me start with a webinar. You know what? Let me have them buy into a challenge. Oh, let them buy my book. So you keep changing the offers. You think changing around the pieces is what's going to help you be successful. But what I found more often is that a lot of coaches actually have a good idea of what they want, of what their audience wants. Because most of the time we're helping a version of ourselves five within the last 5 to 10 years ago. So a lot of times that's who we're coaching, right? When you think about it. So you're at least directionally correct in terms of who you want to help. What I see more often is not necessarily the offer, it's more about not enough people are seeing the offer. So it gives the illusion that, oh, my offer isn't working. And instead, what if you just showed it to more people? Because sometimes you can be like, yo, my offer is not working, but you only spoke to 5 people. You was only on 10 strategy calls. You didn't offer it to that many people. I mean, you can't even, I don't even want to hear about you not really saying changing your offer unless you offer it to 100 people. If you sat down one time and you really thought through it and maybe even asked some people and you had a good idea and you say, you know what, this is my offer, you don't even know if it works until you ask 100 people, because you haven't asked enough people. Sometimes it's the data could be screwed up. Sometimes you could have asked some of the wrong people, or you could have asked some of the wrong people at the wrong time. Like there's different factors that go into it, and it's not just keep changing the offer. You have to get more data. That's how you're going to make a better decision. So this is something that over the years I've had to learn that is not. I don't just have to keep changing things, because now you got to present it differently. I mean, there's a lot of other factors that go into when you keep changing your offer, you changing your program. If you got a funnel, you got to change your funnel. You got to change your landing pages. You got to change you got to change your messaging in different places. I mean, instead of that, just sit down one time, say, you know what, this is what I feel like I can help people with, and this is what they need, and then offer it to way more people. And I guarantee you'll have a better idea of whether people want that or not. So that's the first myth, and we just broke that, right? That's the first piece of bad advice. The second bad advice that I hear is oh, just keep posting every day, and if you stay consistent, you will get clients. Just keep posting every day. Oh my God. This is some of the worst advice that I've ever heard. I used to have a I used to have a syndrome, and many coaches go through the syndrome, and it's called the post and pray syndrome. Maybe you've heard of it. The post and pray syndrome is you post, and you pray clients come to you. You pray people are interested. You pray somebody reaches out and says, "Oh my God, you have changed my life with this piece of content. I want to work with you." And the expectation is all screwed up. That was the expectation that I had at one point. And I'm like, yo, I'm doing what the people are telling me, the gurus are saying to do it, and I'm posting, but why am I not getting clients? I didn't realize that it wasn't just me posting that's going to get me clients. It's me actually having a sales process, a customer journey that's going to allow me to get clients. Posting doesn't get you the clients. A lot of times, is posting. People look at posting the wrong way. Posting is not really even to get clients. What many coaches won't even tell you that's experienced is that coaching is more for lead nurturing more than it is for lead generation. This is going to sound counterintuitive. Like, what do you mean? Yes, your customers, your clients are on social media, but when I post, I don't ever post looking for clients. I used to post and be like, "Oh man, I hope somebody reaches out to me." I've learned that when I post, I'm posting to continue to nurture the people that are in my audience, that are my clients. So that means that they're going to trust me. So now they've consumed 10, 20, 40, 50, 100 pieces of content from me over the year, 2 years, 3 years, few months, few weeks, whatever. And then the more information somebody gets from me, the more likely that they are to become clients. But and I used to do this. So I'm not saying I didn't use. I used to do this, but again, I got over my post and pray syndrome, thinking that posting is what's going to get me clients. Posting don't get you clients. Posting gives you the ability to gain trust, so the people who have the problem that you can solve are more likely to become clients in the future. That's the reason why we post, right? That's the reason why when you go live, you put out content, you do these things. Is that's not that is not the mechanism for selling. That gives you the ability to sell easier in the future. And so then now, once you do that, you have the ability to engage in a conversation. And guess what? They're more likely to respond, right? You have the ability now that when you do meet with them, or when you do bring them through your process, through your sales process, and you do eventually speak to them, that they're going to be more willing to listen. They're going to be more open. They're going to know that you're more trustworthy. They're going to, well, especially in 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 this day and age now, when a lot of people have already went through programs, or they've gotten coaches or different things of that nature, that the trust went down. So now, because the trust is down, it's like, all right, cool. I got to make sure that the person that I'm really working with is like, this is the person that I really trust, that can get me the result that I want. So how are they going to do that? They're going to do that through looking at your content, but the content itself is not what's making a sale. People think that the content is making a sale. It's not doing that. All right. So that's the second myth. So right now I'm clearing the air of all bad advice. I'm clearing the air. I'm clearing the air of this bad advice. So hoping you're taking a lot away from this. All right, number three. I hear, oh my God, I hear so many fake gurus and coaches saying this. They say, oh yeah, yeah, you could figure out ads. It's so it's easy. You'll just be fine. Just turn them on and clients start coming in. Right? Yeah, you just, yeah, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and run the ads, set it up, run the ads, and then the clients will come in. Do you realize that there are people who have advertising companies and agencies that do this full time? There's companies that work with Fortune 500 businesses. I've been running ads since 2019. I have my own agency for the last few years. I'm telling you, this is a skill. This is not something that you're just gonna overnight just be able to learn how to do. Yeah, you can watch a YouTube video to learn how to set it up, but setting it up is not successfully knowing how to run ads to get the right avatar to be able to enroll into your program. I see it was more than just setup. If it's just setting it up, like I had a conversation, with this lady recently. And she was like, "Yeah, well, I could just she's like, "Yeah, well, can I just get it run ads for cheaper and I could get somebody I could get somebody to do it for cheap, maybe get somebody overseas." And I said, "Yeah, you can." I said you literally legit could go do that. I said, "Go overseas." I said, "Go to one of these websites. You could just get a virtual assistant and they could set up the ads for you." But I said, just because they can technically set up the ads and they technically know how to do the targeting and they technically know how to do this and do that and where to put the photos and they can technically add the description, just because you technically know how to run it and publish an ad doesn't mean it's going to be successful. Doesn't mean you're not going to waste money. Just off the bat, one of the reasons we charge what we charge to run ads for our clients is because I spent $150,000 of my own money testing ads to see which ones work and which ones doesn't. So when I get a new client, immediately off the top, they save 150,000. Now you don't got to work with me, but if you really want to know what's working, go spend 150,000 of your own money testing and seeing what works. Test it from the visuals to the videos to just the how we do the experiments and what works and what doesn't work and what catches attention and what doesn't, and certain psychological things that need to happen, and during the ad, before the ad, after the there's a lot of different things that need to happen. So you just technically being able to get a teenager to set it up, or you said, "All right, I'm gonna take a weekend and learn how to set it up and publish it." You know how many people run ads and lose money? A lot of people. I lost a lot of money at first, but through me spending the money and through me investing it and through me losing it, which I didn't really look at. I say losing, but I don't feel like I really lost it. I look at it as it was just it's pay to play. It's my learning budget. It is what it is, right? I had to spend over six figures learning what works and what didn't work, not just the technical, not just the technicalities of how to do it, but me doing that gave me the ability to make way more and get hundreds of clients and get people. That ability allowed me to do that even more. So now when I start working with somebody for the first time, then they immediately get a chance to get uh, um, ahead of the curve, so that now you get a chance to sit on top of the last 6 to 7 years of me running ads. You get that experience immediately. So that's what's important about that. So that's bad advice number three. Um, Bad advice number four. This is another one, right? This is another myth. Oh, you just need a bigger audience. Once your follower grows, everything else will fall in place. So here's the thing. You even getting more followers does not mean that you're going to get more clients. Coach T, what do you mean? More followers does not equal more clients. You know how many people that I've seen that have hundreds of thousands of followers and they don't make more money? Like I had a guy that came to me within the last year and he had 500,000 followers, way more than I got. And but he was coming to me to try to figure out, well, how do I monetize? Like, what do I need to do? And so it's not just about growing the followers, because you could get likes, you could get followers, you could get views, like you could put up some memes, like put up entertainment stuff. You want to get more followers? I'll give you a tip right now. Put up entertaining things. That's how you get more followers. But getting more followers does not mean that you get more clients. You see what I'm saying? Like that does not mean you're going to get more clients. I mean, last year I had like 5 posts that went viral. 5 posts. I mean, each and every one of these posts got anywhere between a million and like 5 million views, right? One of them, I mean, I had like 100,000 likes, 90,000 likes. I mean, it went crazy, like five of them. Here's the thing: most of those posts were wasn't necessarily me teaching business. It was me making a comment on I made it related, but it wasn't necessarily talking to coaches. It wasn't my ideal avatar, and it was more entertainment and memes than it was actual business. So although it went viral, I didn't attract my ideal client. Although I got followers, it didn't attract my ideal client. You see what I'm saying? So just because you get more followers and you get more engagement, that does not mean more clients. That's one of the biggest lies I hear all of the time. They think they're getting more followers means more clients. It does not. You need more of the right people to see your content. I would rather you tell me what you would rather have. Would you rather have 100,000 followers of people and all of these people are not your ideal client, or would you rather have 5,000 followers of your exact ideal client? Give me the 5,000 followers all day, because I'm not in this to be famous. Now, if I happen to get famous, cool. Like I'm all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not in this to get famous. I'm in this to make an impact, obviously, but I'm building a business. I'm doing this for wealth. I'm doing this for financial freedom. I'm doing this, because I want to build something that lasts, that I feel like is impactful. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if that happens as a byproduct, I'm cool. And if it doesn't happen, I'm fine. I don't need to be known by everybody in the world. I'm cool, right? So, because I'm not playing that game now. If you're playing that game, that's cool. That's the game you want to play. But to me, I could have a million followers right now. I, what does that mean in terms of my bottom line for my business? Like that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, you don't need to play the follower game. Don't worry about the follower game, right? Play the business game. All right. So that's really key. All right. So another piece of horrible advice. All right. And the fifth and final piece of terrible advice is the myth that I hear is that oh, your referrals will pick up soon. Listen, just be patient, and you're gonna get more people to refer, and you'll be able to build the business. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're gonna be waiting forever if you're waiting for referrals. I hear people that say word of mouth referrals. And by the way, that is good. If you got word of mouth and you got referrals, that is amazing. Yes. We all like word of mouth. We all like referrals. Basically, those are free leads, right? We all love free leads, right? Especially through referrals and word of mouth. Here's what the challenge is. I see I get probably about maybe about 30% of the people that come in to work with our agency, that's how they were getting clients initially, right? Maybe referrals, which is, and word of mouth. But here's the problem that I always hear every time I have these conversations with them. I always hear that it's inconsistent. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I've been growing my business, through referrals, and then the next thing I'll say is, okay, well, how many referrals did you get last week? And they might say, oh, maybe like one or two. And then a week before that, zero. And then a week before that, five. And then a week before that, one. And then, so I'm saying, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you're getting some referrals, but you can't predict how many you're going to get each week. Yeah, yeah, you're right. So what that means is you can't predict the amount of clients, and you can't predict the amount of sales you're going to make. Yeah, that's right. Which means you can't predict what to invest your money in, because the money's not going to be consistent. Yeah, that's right. So you can't say I'm gonna have X amount of money on ads. I want to spend X amount of money on team. I gotta want to spend X amount of money on software and on tools. You see what I'm saying? You can't predict that. And if you can't predict the amount of money you're getting in, you're definitely not gonna go, you're not gonna be able to go full time. I'm telling you that for a fact. You just will not be. I've been full time since 2020, for the last 5 years. And I'm going to tell you, if you cannot predict the money that you're coming in month to month, don't even think about going full time, because you're not going to be able to predict the rent you got to pay. You're not going to be able to predict. I don't give a damn if it's your cell phone bill, softwares you got to pay, people you got to, your team, whatever you got to, you're not going to be able to predict that. So if you can't predict it, then you're never going to be able to build this the way you want to build it. So what you got to realize is, like, referrals and word of mouth, that is icing on the cake. That's not the cake. That's icing on the cake. That's the cherry on top. It's nice if you could look back this month and say, yo, I got extra 5, 10 referrals. but you don't want to build your whole business model around it if it's not consistent. Now, if you could find a way to make it consistent, like you doing it through affiliates, which is like a form of referrals, but you have to have a whole affiliate business where you actively are going out and you actively have a strategy every day to get a bunch of people to be affiliates for you. And then they go out and find people. If you don't have an active strategy like that, and you don't already know how to do it, don't say that you just been building a business off referrals, or don't have a mentality that you're just going to build your whole business off referrals and word of mouth and it's not consistent, right? This is why you got to have a consistent strategy. Whether your consistent strategy is, yo, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do content, or I'm going to do outreach, or I'm going to speak on stages or whatever. Or if you want to choose the easier way, in my humble opinion, is then you're going to say, okay, cool, I'm going to run the ads. And if you really do know how to do it, great. And if you don't know how to do it, like, you have to get somebody in your team that knows how to do it. But you have to have a strategy that generates you leads on a consistent basis. And it can't be referrals and word of mouth, because that is not consistent. And you will not be able to make your 4K a month, 5K a month, 10K a month. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't have a consistent way that you're generating these leads. So that is yeah, so those are the big myths. All right. So make sure that you don't do that. So I'll give you a quick recap. So number one, make sure the first bad advice I told you is don't think that it's not just the offer. It's more people that needs to look at the offer. The second is, if you think that all you need to do is just post and that's going to get you clients. No, that's not the thing that gets you clients. You need to have a structured system to generate, to really turn that into a customer getting system where you generate those leads and bring those people in. It's not just going to be about you doing posting and content. Number three is, you got to understand that it's not, you can't just set up ads and think that you automatically going to get all of these leads and your lead costs are going to be low and all of that. No, you don't just launch ads and it becomes successful. Like, you actually have to know what you're doing. It's a skill. Number four is, just because you have a bigger audience or more followers, that does not mean you make more money, you get more sales. Okay, like that, you definitely have to already have you have to have the right people seeing your stuff. And then number five is referrals. Is You can't just rely on just the referrals to happen, right? In order for you to be able to grow your business like that, right? You really have to have a specific strategy that you know for a fact is going to put X amount of people in your calendar each week, because you know that, all right, I got a 30% closing rate, and if I speak to 10 people this week, I know probably at least three or four of them are going to say yes. And even if you got $1,000 program and you have a good confidence, like, as long as I get 10, I'm probably going to get 3 to 4. Then guess what? Now you can say, okay, I know I'm gonna get a couple clients this week. So that is the whole strategy behind this. All right. So we just exposed a lot of the lies that we have been told. That we, just from some of the folks who may not have as much knowledge, or they just may have the more wrong perspective. Go out, follow these strategies. By the way, if you are looking to get more leads, I actually have my very brand new book that you could download right now. It is called Get a Rush of Leads Who Buy. Get a Rush of Leads Who Buy. This is my brand new book that I wrote, and it says the playbook to creating better social media advertising that pulls in more leads, and the right leads who are ready to buy. So, and then I talked to you about how do you advertise your business on social media. Okay. And a lot of this is from the paid ads perspective. And you can use this on any platform. I like Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. But you could technically use these strategies for any platform you want to advertise on. If you want to download this now, just go ahead and put ebook in the comments, and then what I'll do is, I will send you the link to be able to download it. All right. And so remember, I told you that I spent about 150K testing and figuring out what works in terms of advertising. Guess what? I put all of that inside of this book. So if it's something that you want, just go ahead and put ebook in the comments. Slow motion is better than no motion. Let's work.